Of Barry's various learning experiences on campus, student research is one many find incredibly enriching. Barry has tailored student researching to meet the needs of all kinds of majors and disciplines. As early as freshman year, students can take part in important research to enhance their resume, expand their knowledge, and present their work. All over Barry, students contribute to work that they find meaning in, challenge themselves, and bring out their interests. Barry sophomore Lena Spagnola speaks about her area of study.
We have people contact us if they find birds that have died. Specifically, we're looking for birds that have collided into buildings, but just anybody that finds a dead bird will contact us, and we go and pick it up and put it in the freezer over there to be identified.
Students who decide to research at Barry have the opportunity to facilitate many operations independently. When getting the chance to do things on their own, they're faced with various obstacles, all of which Barry students are equipped to solve and anticipate. Psychology senior Sean Leard talks about the difficulties of conducting his own research.
One of the hardest things with research projects in general for me is the literature review. You really have to be thorough and comb through a lot of papers, even if you're not reading all of them in fine detail, because you're not really contributing anything if you're not aware of where your work fits in. You know what I mean? I mean, you are, but you want to make sure that you're expanding on stuff. So we're kind of fortunate with our study because there's been really no research done with contingency contracts to undergrads that I can find since the 70s. So we have a pretty obvious gap in the literature to fill. So that's been a bit of a blessing for us.
Microbiology senior and Goldwater Scholarship recipient Hannah Blanton adds her perspective.
Not everything goes right the first time in research, and I've had to do a lot of things over and over again. And sometimes, working with living organisms, I work with bacteria, sometimes they just don't work for some reason. And so having to go back to the drawing board and figure out why something isn't working and having to repeat it, and I've learned a lot of persistence and endurance through that, and just showing up and asking more questions. It's challenged me to ask better questions.
Research at Barry aims to equip students with valuable and extensive opportunities. Professor of Biology Dr. Chris Mowry voices what qualities he looks for when he is selecting student researchers.
Of a great student researcher. Certainly somebody who is self-motivated and is responsible and dependable. Somebody that can, again, work independently. Somebody who's enthusiastic about what we're doing. Those are really the attributes that I'm most interested in.
Although many researchers are able to work in their labs unassisted, writing their own papers and overseeing their own projects, just as many students are working closely with staff and faculty to research as well. Dr. Mowry discusses how he collaborates with his students.
The undergraduate students I work with like graduate students. So, the fact that we don't have, graduate programs, generally speaking, at Barry, it gives our students a real opportunity to work with professors who are actively engaged in research, as most of us are. And so, we really can interact with those students as if they were in graduate school. They get a lot of autonomy. They get, a lot of experience to work on these projects. So I think that's really unique about, a place like Barry. So I really value that and really glad we have that.
Blanton notes how her work as a student researcher is so rewarding.
And I ran into a problem which my PI, Dr. Rose, and I were trying to troubleshoot for 3 months. And so finally we were able to figure out what was going wrong. And that moment when I was looking at one of my plates and then I held it up to the light and I could actually see what I was supposed to see, that was very rewarding. And all of those challenges, all of that hard work, I was okay, we know why, it wasn't forming a biofilm, but it is forming a biofilm now. And so just little breakthroughs, I think, are the most rewarding.
Presenting, data analysis, scientific innovation, or just fun, research opens the door for a number of invaluable opportunities, from beginning of a student's time here to beyond. Barry student researchers take those opportunities to the fullest and use their notable positions and expertise to contribute both to the growth of their fields and themselves. With Viking Fusion News, I'm Jordan Barden.